Welcome to FCC Supporter Square, the show for fans, by fans, and about fans. Here are your hosts, Matt Warman, Boston Brazel, and Mark Suffin.
Hey, welcome to yet another episode of FCC Supporter Square. I'm your host, Matt Warman. With me is my ride or die, Mark Suffin. Mark
How you
Suffin.
doing, Matt?
Good, sir. I felt like I had a stroke there for a second. It just I'm just excited. Last week we played DC United. It was a gutsy performance, yet another walking wounded type victory. Before we get into that, we have to, for those, I'm sure everybody has heard by now, I had 3 or 4 people text me, LinkedIn me, message me, email me about the passing of Boop. That it's sad. It makes me sad. Somebody that young to die in such a manner is it's never good. But particularly when you have somebody like that. So I know you'll have a couple of words, but before I pass it off to you, I just want to say what we're hearing in the Bailey is at the 9th minute. They will be chanting "Boop, there it is." So I'm telling this for the people who are not in the Bailey or not dialed in, who are listening to us, and pass this off to your friends. For those who heard, they're going to do it 18 times. Boop, there it is, 18 times. His number was 9. He scored 9 goals for us. It's I think a fitting soccer tribute to a fitting player who played for us and was, quite frankly, pretty important in our Shield run. Mark, any additional thoughts?
No, you said it very succinctly there. You hate to see, a man like that who's just doing what he, has always dreamed of doing, and just the tragedy that this is. Sadly, this is now the second FCC player in a year to lose his life, and we just hope that we just send our hopes and our prayers and our just our thoughts all with Bupenza's family, his friends, and players that were around him, and we're just all lifting him up tonight. And the Bailey will do a tribute to him. More details will be coming out about that as far as exactly when and what. But shocking to say the least. But just very, very sad to hear that he has died.
Yes, that'll be on the 9th minute, which is on his number.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so it should be not 18 Boop. There it is on the 9th minute in the first half, obviously, on our home game. So now that we've gotten the not so good stuff out of the way, let's get to the better stuff. And the reason why people tune into us, quite frankly, is our nonsensical takes on a fun sport. What were your thoughts on the DC United contest?
Well, if you ever needed this club to show that they can gut a victory out, this had everything you wanted. You had Nick Hagland, I'll just put his name out there right away, taking, one of the premier strikers in the league and keeping him out of the net. Just a Herculean effort by him, and hats off, to Nick. He accepted the challenge and he came out amazing, and just happy for him, and just happy for this club overall. We knew it wasn't going to be that pretty, and it wasn't, but absolutely happy that he was that one, we got the goal from Dotto. That was just unexpected. You just had a kid that just opened up and says, "Okay, I got it, guys. Don't leave me alone. I got it." And that proved to be the only score of the game. And how fitting. It took just a player that stepped up finally in Dotto, and got the well-deserved goal. He worked hard for it, and he deserved it.
Last week, Boston said Hagelin has to be the front runner. He continues to play not only minutes, but important minutes in playing, as you said. Shutting down Benteke is not an easy task, and
Right.
I'm tying some things. So watch what I'm doing here. Uh, he learned some of the dark arts from Matt Miazga because he was getting in
Yeah.
Bentake's head. And speaking of Matt Miazga, there was a Matt Miazga sighting. It was only 8 minutes. I thought they were
Hey,
going to hold him back for maybe the home game, but we have another away match this week, so it's like get him in, get your right. And quite frankly, I think he came in at the right time. Talking about, you know, pulling the levers at the right time. We were absorbing a lot of pressure. There was a lot of tired legs there. We were getting disorganized. Um, we needed some calming of the waters on the defensive side to see this last 10 minutes out, and he did that appropriately. Um, so it's great to see him out there, and it's like, oh right, we're tired. We need somebody in the back line to help us because we're giving up a lot of corners, and they were pushing numbers forward and looking a little more cohesive like they hadn't the entire game. And these 1-0 road matches when you're in the lead, those are the toughest because you don't have your fans to keep you energized. If anything, you're getting wore out and getting a little nervous because there's a lot of people yelling at you, not for you.
yeah. Yeah, and what a wonderful way for us to solidify that clean sheet. Here we are, another clean sheet, another 1-0 victory. And Miazga did his part even for 8 to 10 minutes. He gave that leadership. He gave that 10 minutes, and if that's all he could do, he did it. And preserved that goose egg up there, kept Benteke out of the goal. It just seemed like when Miazga came in, really there wasn't much they could do, and that was what was great. Yeah, it was going back and forth. It was kind of frenetic, but we weren't bending or breaking in that last 10 minutes or so, and that was because we had our guys in the back that were taking care of business. So Herculean win, and kudos to Haglund again because he did it.
He's becoming the man of the match. So, like you said, Celentano got another clean sheet. I said 1-0 because I thought we were going to be disjointed again. I sound like a broken record. I say this every week. We still haven't gelled yet. We haven't.
Yes.
The best, and this team has yet to come. We are tied for second. If it wasn't for a late flourish from Columbus, we would have temporarily been tied for first. I'm still happy for tied for second. I don't know how Columbus is doing it with smoke and mirrors, but I don't worry about them. I worry about our team, and we'll deal with them soon enough, sooner rather than later. But with that being said, and in Inter Miami drawing next week's opponent, which we'll get to in a moment. That was a moment of brilliance by Dado. Watching it live, I thought he got away with a push off, but then when I saw the replay and the ref being in perfect position, refs always seem to be in perfect position and don't make calls. But watching it live, I said, oh, I think they're going to call this one back, but I'm glad they're letting it play out. And then just the moves to open up the defense. It was 1-on-2. He made them both go one way and get just enough. The keeper got a hand on it, but that's not enough to stop that shot. And
Yeah.
that's what you need because we're still the walking wounded, and it's this coming week is going to be that as well. So it was good. It's good, right? I've been saying this for several weeks now. I think we're seeing it as fruition. This is a team. This is not a personality or person. Having Miazga back, and so what do we do? This is great. So if we lose Robinson for international duty, we don't lose our minds.
Right.
We want to, if for whatever reason Noonan wants to go back four instead of back three, now we have a back four, right? Miazga, Robinson, Flores, and Haglin could all be on the back floor. Now we're not putting, Engel or Powell, nothing. And they've been playing great minutes when everybody has been doing their job, doing their role. But we're still got Kubo out. Obi's been out. Talk about what a signing by Anunga. We you're talking about Haglin and how good he is, and I think he was the man of the match. Don't get me wrong, but nobody went, "Oh my gosh, we can't play without Obi out there." Are we better with Obi out there? Yes, we are. But can Anunga do the job? Spot play the defense. He may not pass the ball as well, but he is a strong defender and he's an enforcer out there. He's Obi light. That's exactly what we want. While he's out, so we don't have to go, oh, Acosta's got one leg, I guess we're going to lose this game or it's going to be really bad. Now it's like, okay, we still don't have this whole team. We don't have Evander out there stirring the drink yet fully. He's been there, Spitzens. I mean, we need them for several weeks of practice to really get in there. But hey, heal up. We don't have to worry about forcing people back for emergency starts at 80% and see who we can come in at the second half to see it out. This is a great team. I think if we play to our potential later this season, I hope we remember this part of the season back in years future, because this is the type of team that you want. A scrappy team who plays together, who just figures out a way. That's all you want. At this point, we're not Miami. We're not Columbus. We're not even Philadelphia, or Charlotte. Whoever's the flavor of the week this week. We're not there yet. We're not fully formed yet. We're not even half formed, and yet we're pulling out results. This week is going to be an interesting test. But that was my thought, is that our backups and our academy players are filling in the spots, filling in the voids, and getting just enough done to get the 3 points.
Yeah. Yeah, you said it right there. This team is just, continuing to improve, and that's what you like to see, with being thrown at so many matches, to start the season. You just didn't know how that, they're becoming more comfortable around each other, and you couldn't ask for any better right now, especially with the players that have been out, and with Evander returning this weekend. I think it's going to be a very good weekend for us.
I think Noonan's doing his best coaching job.
Yeah.
He's got to get these players motivated and in play. And like I said, it is disjointed. We're not a juggernaut. I don't know if we will be. I don't know where Denke will fall in. We need, I think, another person up front. Barrial seems to be better suited as a wingback than that frontline player. But if they can all play together, I mean, I'm not taking Barrial, Orishano. I'm not taking Orishano off the pitch. Don't get me wrong here, but he's not quite the winger material. He's kind of floating around because he has to. But when is he going to be a little more disciplined, or if he's going to float? Does that mean Denke now knows how he's going to play and adjust accordingly to drag people out of his space, to open space for Orishano? Because that's really what Denke's been doing. So Denke hasn't scored. Although I heard a very interesting stat on the broadcast, was the DC United game was the first time that Denke has not scored the game winner when we've won a game.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, oh yeah, he made the PK against. Like, okay, yeah, this all makes sense. I was like, I had to go back a little bit. Yeah, but he scored all the game winners, so it's not like he's quiet. It's like he's not scoring the bangers like we would like. He's not being super flashy. I think he's still trying to get used to the country, get used to the players, get used to the league. He's getting there, but his job is he's always bracketed like Bentenke by two players.
Mhm.
He's taking two players off of your defense. If you're going to go up against him one on one, he will burn you. And
Yeah.
that's early in the season. Nobody was doing that, and he was showing you what he can do. So he's got a role is to take defense away from other players, and he's doing that. And eventually, he's going to get the ball and score. And the only thing I have is with every striker for FC Cincinnati that we've had, name them all. They all seem to want to be offsides a lot.
Yeah.
I think Denke was offsides three or four times during the DC match. It just as a former striker, it drives me crazy because job number one is keep your eye on where the defense is before you just willy nilly run off because defenses have been known to step up in certain
Mhm.
times. So you better pay attention to what they're doing. So I'm hoping that they do a little work on that. Um, on the injury front, it sounds like Kubo is out, Obi is out, and Evander has been working on the side. You know, I read something where he wasn't going to play, but I don't know about that source, and that might have been a couple of days ago. I think Evander's at least going to be in the 18 or the 20 now. We haven't even
Yeah.
we've been so injured we can't even fill out a
Yeah.
complement of bench players.
Right.
So
Right.
that's going to be
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that's just going to be interesting. What are we going to do when we have a full complement of players and we can actually, maybe sub two or three people out, or strategically change somebody, bring somebody in and change where people play and do some other things, whether we're protecting a lead or chasing the game. That's why I like this game. That's why I like this team. That's why I like this coach. Is that the options are endless. All we have to do is get the people there. It's like
Yeah.
it's the winter window is almost closing. I think Wednesdays it closes. I don't see well, A, I don't see the space, but B, I don't know who we'd go after. I don't think we need a midfielder that Dado showed
No.
that he's good enough for some role. Even if Evander can only go 60, maybe let Evander go 60 and bring Dado in in the 60th minute to see it out, because then we don't
Yeah.
have to worry about his offense. Just play midfield, right? Here's what I need you to do. Here is not look to score, look to assist the defense, look to relieve pressure when they build up and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got a midfield that seems to be pulling, really coming together. We Brad Smith, um, Angle, those guys are just filling in solidly, and it's making this thing of when we get our full complement. Do we be as arrogant to say, it's going to be really, really hard to look down because we're going to be so far ahead? That's the kind of thinking you have, because we're doing very well with the patchwork that Noonan has been given.
Right. So
So, yeah,
when you're in this kind of position of missing players, and particularly with the new players that we have, the Brad Smiths, the Angles, as you said,
yeah,
it's you have to sacrifice something.
hmm
You either go like Brazil and go, we don't play defense. We're gonna put on two strikers and nine midfielders and score four goals and see if you can score more. Um, or you become Nashville and you go, goals are stupid. Defense wins championships. And I think that's where we're at. So for those fans who are like, well, why aren't we scoring three goals on DC United? They're not that good, or but we haven't played Montreal, who really isn't good. DC is not a bad team, but they have some players. They have some, as you can see, their defense was problematic. They were trying to press, but I don't know why they're pressing with that defense.
Yeah.
So that's the interesting piece there, that we handled it. So, but I think this Saturday's game is going to be a very interesting test. I think it's the first time where we're missing some players. Chicago's not a bad team, although the
Right.
good news is we're playing against Berhalter ball, so I wouldn't expect a lot of goals.
Yeah. Chicago is going to, provide a very tough challenge, another road test for us. Player that stands out to me, he's always stood out as Kellen Acosta, the former LAFC, former men's national team. He's still playing at a very high level. Um, Honestly, Chicago was in the basement last year, and you know, I'm I'm intrigued to see where they are right now in the top eight, which is very good to get out of the gates with. But we'll just have to play our strongest game that we've got with the players we have, because
Go ahead.
they have not been they've won a few matches, but it's not been overpowering. So I'm interested to see. They they took care of Vancouver, and Vancouver's like the nobody can touch them right now. But last month, Vancouver got beat by this Chicago team 3-1. I don't understand that. I didn't really see the highlights of that to know, but Vancouver is a tough out right now. So we will need to see what team shows up for Chicago, and certainly we have to show up as a tough away match for us.
I think the first there's 34 matches, so the first 10 matches kind of gives you the beginning trends. It's not going to give you the final trends, but it's going to give you some things. Playing the top team the first week of the season is the best thing you want to do. So if you beat a Vancouver, right? I think if Chicago played Vancouver now, I think it would be a different story. And if they did win 3-1, then that would be news. Although they just played Inter Miami on Sunday
Yes.
to a 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
So uh, what does that tell me? What does that tell me? I don't think Miami is known for their defense, although they knew that they had problems on defense and have tried to address it. Maybe they're a little better on defense than they were last year. So they didn't score. But then Chicago looked probably shut down Miami. But I didn't see the game, so I can't really comment on how the older Real Madrid players looked in Chicago. And it was like 70,000 people that were there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The 0-0 match, you just saw you didn't see a lot of life with each side. You just didn't see the quality that well, you know what you're going to get with Inter Miami. You didn't see that. Chicago basically thwarted everything, and Inter Miami had chances, don't get me wrong, but their shots were limited. And I just think back down from these guys, and they were handing out yellow cards all over the place. It was a very Guido-ish night with yellow cards. But yeah, it was just a very different match than I have come to see. Yeah, I think certainly the winner of the match was Chicago holding off Inter Miami, a 0-0 draw. I wouldn't have thought of that at all. So yeah,
I
but that match is the reason we're ahead of them, even though Miami has a game in hand. They're still down in points to us right now, so we have that.
And it's like it is still early, right? So Chicago is in eighth place, but they're only 4 points off the pace, tied with the Red Bulls, and New York City is only a point behind. So
Right?
you've got your 8, 9, 10 teams, the two New York teams in Chicago. You feel like two of those three teams will move up, and one of those three teams would move down a little bit. But who knows, right? They're having a hard time scoring. They scored a bunch of goals, but I don't know against who. I guess it was Vancouver. But we're in positive goal differential territory. That's what's preventing us from moving yeah, any tiebreakers. And again, we're 8 matches in.
Yeah.
10 matches is when you start to going, okay, we're in the top four. If you said we're missing the replacement for Acosta, we've missed some time with our striker as well, our $15 million striker. Matt Miazga has not started a game. Obi has been out with an injury. Yuya Kubo has not been coming off the bench to spark anything. And you said we're tied for second. I would have went, yeah, you're lying. There's no way we're going to do that at the beginning of the season. But yeah, here we are, and so this is a tough test. Before you make your pick for Saturday, I have the exciting news of Sheila and I are going up with some other brigaders, Trina and Dustin.
Yep.
And Jerry is going to be up there, but we're going up slightly separate. Well, I guess so is Trina, but we're all going to Chicago on Saturday. My track record on road matches is iffy. I've seen some winners. I saw Cincinnati beat Inter Messi in Miami with Messi
Yes.
playing. So it wasn't the 6-0 beatdown or 6-1 beatdown without him. I'm talking about in Miami with him playing. We won that match, so that takes care of the 5-1 loss at Austin, the 5-1 loss at St. Louis, the
Yeah.
2-0 loss at Charlotte a couple of
Yeah.
years ago. So I it's 4-0 loss in Seattle, but that's the first game of the of our MLS career. So, but I saw a draw, a couple of draws, a couple of losses in Columbus. But that's just that's to be expected with that matchup.
Yeah.
So I think being there, I don't think there's going to be. I don't think they predict 70,000. I think the temperature I see is going to be 49 degrees. So it's
Yeah.
going to be cloudy and a little cool. Great if you're a soccer player. You're not going to get overheated. There's not going to be no water breaks.
Yeah.
But I also don't think there's going to be 70,000 people rooting for the Fire. I think there may be more Cincinnati fans than Chicago fans. We'll see. We will see. And it's interesting. Well, I guess it's because of the holiday coming up this weekend. But there's not a huge traveling contingent to Chicago. So we're one of the brave few to go up this weekend and hopefully return with 3 points. I'm picking. It really is a conditional. I'm going with a 0-0 draw unless Evander plays more than 45 minutes. Then I think it's 1-0 Cincinnati. I think he's the difference. He can break down. He can break down a defense, and they're not playing Inter Miami, so they may not have. I don't want to say letdown because Cincinnati is a good team, and you still have to play up, and they have yet to win at home. That's another thing that they're trying to do. I think that's what they wanted to do against Miami, and they might have put a lot of effort in it. So one less day of rest for them. And I think after that big match with Miami, you get a little mentally maybe a little tired. So I think we can sneak a 1-0 win if Evander plays. Otherwise, it's a draw. What's your thoughts?
Well, I'm gonna step out a little bit and not be as conservative as I have been. I'm gonna go. My gut says 2-0.
2-0.
And the 2-0. The reason is this. I just feel, we've had one extra day of preparation. The Chicago Messi match was on a Sunday, so they had one less day. I think that match was physically, mentally, and in other ways, tiring to them. So I just don't think they're going to be on the front foot against us. I just think we're going to have some opportunities and enough to at least put two through. So that's what I'm thinking. And Obviously, the 800-pound gorilla in the room is the football helmet meme ridiculousness up in Cleveland that's going to happen Saturday as well. And I can just say, go have whatever fun that is going to end up being. But what a spectacle! Because every single camera is going to be on that one.
Yeah, they can have it.
Well, 3 points is going to be brought home to us emphatically. Yeah, they're not going to. Miami won't catch us if we do the job up there in Chicago.
Look, I don't understand why. I don't really care because it's the team up north, but it sounds to me like this is the trial balloon to move the team to Cleveland. If they
Yeah,
move out of state, then there's a lot of legal issues. But if you move it to
yeah,
another city in the state, there is no legal issue. The
yeah,
owner is the owner of the Cleveland Browns because they're like, well, we need a bigger stadium. It's like, okay, you want your money grabbed, that's fine, but like 100, I don't know, is it a few blocks, a couple of miles to the west? There's 105,000 seat stadium sitting empty. You couldn't put it in Ohio State Stadium, give them 5% and still make a stupid amount of money. Oh no, we want to go
yeah,
up to Cleveland, right? So now you have this thing. So for those who don't know or don't care about supporter groups, because not everybody is into Bailey. So this is for your casuals. Our supporter group is called the Bailey. You know the Bailey. You know the crazies. They have their own group of crazies called the Nordecki. Don't ask me why. I don't understand why they say any of that stuff. I'm sure they have some meaning. I don't care. Well, they were going to go up, but then I guess the front office has been making them mad. So now they're literally taking their capos and drums away. So there will be no Nordecki going up to Cleveland, or very few, and none of them will be capos, and they're not going to have banners, and they're not going to have smoke. So this is a great home game for Columbus, moving it 100 miles to the north. I mean, if we wanted to have Inter Miami at Paul Brown Stadium, that would be great. But if you moved it over to Lucas Field in Indianapolis, I think people would rightly go, wait a minute, I got my season tickets not to drive to Indianapolis. And that's what they're going through because their owner is, I think, trying to get the excitement in Cleveland to move the team. So that's the brief
you there?
explanation. That's just going to be a crazy matchup, and yeah, you're right because it's like basically number one and number two playing, and guess what? Columbus doesn't really have a home field advantage. Uh, at least the Fire does play at Soldier Field, so they should
Yeah,
have had some kind of home field advantage. But we all know that the Messi crazies. You would think by now anybody who's had a chance to see Messi have already done it. That this enthusiasm for this aging player would have waned at least a little bit. I've seen him twice, and
yeah,
that's more than enough for me.
yeah.
I mean, I'm going to go because it's a home match, but I don't care if he's coming for a third time. And I just leave the circus away. I'd rather watch a good match. So they're going to have the circus. The good news for us is that that puts somebody a little behind early in the season that they're going to have to dig out of a hole, whether it's Columbus or Miami. If we can put together what Mark says, I think mentally and physically they are a little tired, hopefully, and it is Berhalter ball. That Noonan probably knows it a bit and can counter it a bit, and we can come home with 3 points. That really puts us in a very good position. So hopefully the coming out party, so to speak, will be the following week with Sporting KC coming in. We haven't seen them in a few weeks. People are getting rabid. I know I'm getting rabid to see them again. Everybody should be healed up and ready to go. Sporting Kansas City fired their longtime coach. So who knows what they're doing or how they're doing. I don't think they're probably at the bottom of the table. They're probably the worst team in the league. You can't overlook anybody in any league, especially
Right.
this one. But if there's any game that you should probably go to if you're interested in seeing goal scoring and the team beginning to gel, that would be the game to go see.
Oh, unequivocally.
But we'll
Uh,
get to that one. We'll get to that one next week because that's we've got
yeah.
things to look at. This is going to be a tough test, so I'm not looking past this or anything else. So, do you have any final thoughts?
Well, to the screeching yellow kitties from the Nordecki, and I say that from all the tifos that have the screeching yellow kitty that has become kind of a cult a cult character for our tifos. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't know what to say, but when you've had everything stripped from your supporter group, I mean, I don't know what to tell you as far as what's left. That just doesn't bode well. And I just hope both teams just beat the tar out of each other so we can just ease right on through after with their laying on the ground, and we'll just walk right up to the top of the table. I'll take that.
Absolutely. And so from what I've heard is orange is the new yellow for in Columbus. That's what all I'm going
Yes. Yeah.
to
No doubt.
say. Well, that's just about all the time we have here at FCC Supporter Square. We're happy to see you. Hey, if this is your first time, or even if you're a long time, tell some friends and family we're out here. We're having a good time. If you want a good time for 30 minutes, that's what we're here for, a 30-minute good time. So that's all we have today here for FCC Supporter Square. I'm Matt Warman for Mark Suffin. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining FCC Supporter Square. The hosts are Matt Warman, Boston Brazel, and Mark Suffin. The intro song is Quick on the Holster by the Stone Bunnies, and the ending song is Awesome Sauce, also by the Stone Bunnies. Thank you for listening. Please join us again.